Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Sylvia Global Radio. You're listening to Wealth Psychology with Emily and Dr. Jamie.
Wow, well, welcome to
This program has been made possible by Weatherby Asset Management. The views and opinions expressed are those of the guest. Weatherby Asset Management is dedicated to providing exceptional wealth management services by forming partnerships built on trust, understanding, and thoughtful advice. For more than 20 years, they've been offering objective perspective, personalized planning, and sophisticated investment management to individual investors and families, as well as pension plans, foundations, and endowments. Contact them at www.weatherby.com. Weatherby Asset Management, located in San Francisco and New York City.
Well, welcome to Wealth Psychology on Sylvia Global Radio, and we have a special treat this morning. Not only is this Emily Bouchard, and I am in California, we have Jamie Traeger-Muney from Israel, and Gail Sylvia has joined us for the beginning of the show, and we're so happy to have you joining us. And can you just speak a little bit about what you're up to at USC this Friday?
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Great.
Great. It's so exciting. You know, the Wealth Psychology Hour is really growing in followers. It's very, very exciting what you're doing here. And we're really appreciative of Weatherby Asset Management's support of the broadcast and getting the message out. This Friday, actually Thursday and Friday, January 24th and 25th, 2013, the Center on Philanthropy and Public Policy at the University of Southern California, USC campus, they are hosting a leadership forum, and that forum is philanthropy, imagination, innovation, and impact. And I'm very excited about being on the panel Friday, the 25th, on the power of women in philanthropy, along with Melissa Berman from the Rockefeller Philanthropy Advisors, Deb, I'm not sure of her last name, with J.P. Morgan, and Michelle Ozumba, President and Chief Executive Officer for the Women's Funding Network. Some of these ladies have been on Sylvia Global, and Jim Ferris, Dr. Jim Ferris, the founding director on the Center of Philanthropy and Public Policy, was on Sylvia Global last week, along with some other listeners. So very excited about, being able to participate in a forum such as this.
Wow, that is thrilling. I can't wait to hear about it. I'm sure you're going to have lots to share next week about what happens as a result of that. And oh, my gosh, philanthropy, I love that, innovation and impact and the power of women. This is so important.
It's extremely important. You know, some of the other plenary panels that will be happening at the Davison Center are associated with topics of, our passion and our values, what sparks our philanthropy and its possibilities, discussions around transmitting philanthropic values across the generation, which is this is the area of expertise of the two of you in wealth psychology, just, how we, transfer not only the money, but our values, with wealth management, and also in this area of philanthropy. Other topics are around collaboration and networks. Representatives from Price School of Policy at USC, nonprofit organizations will be a part of that discussion. Diane Scarce, the Evaluation and Learning Director for Lucille and David Packard Foundation, will be participating on that panel. There's also panel discussions and, and roundtable discussions around impact investing, social media and games for social change. Just a very thorough forum on a very important topic that we don't otherwise get to have access to, not only the people, resources, and talent in this industry, but, our peers, access to our peers.
Wow, I think we have the topics for next week's show. We're going to be. We have. We're waiting for our final confirmation, but we're really excited that we have as our upcoming guests Keith Whitaker and Susan Macenzio, who are co-authors of the book that we spoke about before on the gift that and the impact of the gift when it's given to beneficiaries. And this whole notion of how to transfer your values with your valuables is so key. And we'll make sure that if they get to join us next week that we totally talk about this as well. Very exciting.
Yeah, and you know what? It's really wonderful, Emily and Jamie, about the Wealth Psychology, your broadcast here on Sylvia Global, is that this is a way to continue these discussions and to have access to information. You know, the forum that will take place at USC was by invitation only, yet the discussion doesn't have to stop there. You know, the engagement doesn't stop or have to be limited to just the attendees at that moment in time. You know, the whole purpose for the Wealth Psychology broadcast is to be a place for ongoing discussion and connectivity, and the two of you do it so profoundly. Even this morning's topic, you know, on Inheritors Dilemma and how to respond to probing questions, you know, that could very well be the philanthropist dilemma, you know, and how to respond to probing questions associated with our giving, and especially when our giving values and impact are a part of those generational transfers.
Yeah, Sylvia, I think what you're pointing to is so important, and we really saw it in our first show on Inheritors, that we had more emails and fax questions come in, tweeted questions come in than we've ever had. We couldn't handle all of them, and I think when you talked about being amongst a peer group that's going through the same experience and wanting to find positive impact, that's what we really hope that this show will be an opportunity for inheritors, because they often don't have that ability to feel like they're in a comfortable place where they can ask the questions, get clear on some of the issues, and then move forward powerfully to make the positive impact that they're looking to make in the world. So
exactly.
That's what today's show is all about.
Right. You know, and learning how to navigate, you know, some of the gracefully, you know, navigate these areas that are so sensitive are important. And again, the Wealth Psychology broadcast is a place to use our imaginations, to be innovative, and to still have impact. You know, whether it's with inheritance, philanthropy, or general, you know, all of these other topics that you have generally covered on the Wealth Psychology program. So that's this Thursday and Friday, January 24th and 25th at USC in Southern California. Look forward to meeting our, you know, listeners to the Wealth Psychology and followers of Sylvia Global there.
And don't forget, you join us again maybe in a week or two to do another interview about the outcome of what it was like to be part of the panel and the discussions that got generated, so we can really bring it back to our listeners.
Oh, absolutely. And we can do even better than that. We'll get, you know, let's extend an invitation to Dr. Jim Ferris and other participants in the forum to be guests and on the Wealth Psychology broadcast. Let's have them you know, share their wisdom and expertise with the audience that comes to you looking for wisdom and expertise.
Oh, that would be
fabulous.
Such a treat. Yes.
So this morning's show, ladies, I'm going to be here standing by, listening. Don't want to monopolize your time. You're such incredible and wonderfully talented host, and we're so honored that you're a part of Sylvia Global. I'm going to turn it over to you, and thank you again for being here this morning and for having me.
Oh, we're delighted. It's such a treat. And we want to make sure that our listeners know that you can engage in this show at any time, and we have lots of different ways for you to contact us. You can call us directly at 215-6138. You can email us at listeners@sylviaglobal.com. And you can also go to our Facebook page, which would be Facebook, and then you just do the /Sylvia Global, or you could just search Sylvia Global on Facebook, and you can also go to the Wealth Legacy Group's fan page, too, if you want to connect with us directly. And Jamie, we're so glad you are well and here and able to join us. How are you?
I am doing very well, thank you. I had my second chemo treatment yesterday, and now I'm sporting a very stylish, probably quarter-inch hairdo. So I'm having, again, to move on the fly with new things and learning that, it's interesting. It'll be an interesting conversation next week, or, if it's not next week when we do it with Keith and Susan, because there's so many things that impact us in our life, things that we didn't expect to happen, and inheritance is one of those. But how we move, I think one of the most powerful things that's really helping me right now is somebody said to me that, we don't get to pick the wind, but how we move our sails and how we maneuver within whatever wind we have, be it a gale force or, just being in irons, those are our choices. So, this conversation and all of our conversations are really about, given where we all are in our lives, how do we make the movements that best steer us towards the direction we're going? And in particular, we find with our inheritor clients that there's not very open forum for them to discuss that issue, because mostly people want to make judgments or already talk about how lucky they are that they shouldn't have any problems, or jealousy and envy comes up. So there's not really a forum to really learn how to sail, if we can use that analogy, in the most agile way. So we're really hoping to use today's show to hear from our listeners. We're going to be talking about, we have a lot of questions already on our plate that from last time and that we hear over and over again. So we're hoping to bring that. Thank you, Em.
Yeah. So let's dive into the heart of this. So one of the things that inheritors that we work with, that our listeners that have deal with being beneficiaries of money in their lives that they didn't necessarily participate in earning or growing, is the presumptions that people may have about them, perceived or spoken or unspoken, and also how do you handle when somebody is just inquisitive and coming forward wanting to just know things about you. And this topic specifically got generated out of some conversations that I got to witness when I was at Rancho La Puerta a couple of weeks ago. So anybody who's not familiar with Rancho La Puerta, it's been rated the #1 retreat center in the world year after year after year. They got the award again this year, and it's an extraordinary place to go to because, the service is bar none the best I've ever experienced, and there's no pretension there. It's just south of San Diego in Mexico. It's a very peaceful place to be, lots of wonderful activities. People come from all over the world, and it's a very low-key environment. It's not, people don't dress for dinner. It's very comfortable, very easygoing, and you can be pretty anonymous there if you want to be. You can be showy if you want to be, too. Whatever you want, you can do. And what happens is, at the meals, you can choose to sit by yourself or maybe with your family or your friends, or you can choose to join a group of people at larger tables that you meet throughout the week, or they might invite you if you're just there by yourself. And what do people do? They inquire, where are you from, where you live. It's kind of this fun geography game that you play in terms of how you go about